Hello and welcome to this video where we are back in the garden for a garden update. I know a lot of you have been asking about that, so I thought it was about time that we did one. So to catch you all up, what we're going to do is go back in time to setting up and doing some changes in the garden so you can see what's been done. All right, so we've just come out in the garden because today is the day we're going to try and put this woodpecker post up. So Tim's going to help me with it because I'm going to need to dig quite the hole. But we're hoping to get that up today. And then it's raining typically, so we're probably not going to put all the drill holes into it. But if we can get it up and get it standing, then that's a really good start for today. And that part of the project, because I have actually seen some woodpeckers in the garden already, so they've been onto the some of the fat balls that I've put out, and when I did my RSPB bird count we actually had 2 come in, which is pretty cool. So very excited, and I hope that they're going to use this post after we dragged it over here. I want it between these 2 posts here is what I'm thinking, because I think that will be nice, and or it'd be nicely located for the background. Cool. Will we hit a stone? Oh, how deep is this happening to me? A little bit deeper than that. A meter? Look at the long-tailed chicks.
Glad I'm wearing my camo so they don't get scared off.
Right, so the post is in, so hopefully that'll go some way to helping attract the woodpeckers into the garden. Now we're not going to drill it just yet. What I want to do is actually wait to make sure it sets and doesn't fall over, and then we can drill it and start pushing the suet balls into it. But yeah, pretty happy with that. I think it's going to look good on the camera. In the last video you would have recognised this area with the old sycamores, which we wasn't too sure what we're going to do with. So Tim has already gone in and cleared out quite a lot of the rubbish that was already there, and he's moved the top. So what we've decided to do is actually, with all the sycamore that we have cut off, we're actually going to put in a bit of a dead hedge in the gap in the fence anyway, because one, the farmer doesn't like the gap in the fence, and 2, it's quite messy looking there anyway in terms of the background for that lower section. So if we might as well just fill that with all of these and have it so that it's a bit of a habitat for some of the other animals to go into and some of the smaller birds, and then hopefully we might get some creeping vines to grow up over them as well. So we're going to do that for one section, and then with the rest of it we're going to try and neaten it up as much as we can, and then with some of the old pipes, and we've got old random bits of brick and all sorts of weirdness in the garden, we're then going to put a little like mammal habitat here, which will also hopefully attract some of the insects as well for the birds, and hopefully just neaten up this general mess so it's somewhat photographic but also a useful area for the wildlife. So today in the garden, what we're going to do is finish tidying that area up. We've got loads of like planks and stuff in it that I want to get rid of. Well, just move it to the other part of the garden where I don't need it. and just to see what bits of tree we've got underneath it, because I want to add some more perches and logs and stuff, but until I know what we have, I don't want to go out and start bringing stuff home. So we're going to do that first and go from there. Okay, so I've done quite a bit actually, and it looks an awful lot better than what it does. And I found a few bits in the garden that I think I'm gonna use. Obviously we have the chimney pot from when Tim did some work in the garden, so I've got to put this out somewhere. I haven't decided yet, so that I can just live there for the moment. So looking at where the birds are coming from, they're still just hopping, mostly from, I forgot what it's called, the hawthorn, onto the feeder. So I'm thinking I need to put something between the hawthorn and the feeder to try and get them sort of, so they can pop onto that. Okay, so I've decided either way I want to put another post in. So we've got the woodpecker post here. We've not had anything come onto it just yet, but like I said, I haven't drilled the holes in it. I don't know, I mean, I think they'll come to it, but I think also if I put one here, this is going to be, oh, that's onto it. It's going to be interesting to see if I can dig this on my own. Tim's not here today, but this is going to be like between these two. So I've got a nice clear background from up there, and I think it'll be a nice hopping post. So we're going to have 1, 2, 3, and then potentially they might go onto that. We will see. But it's so nice seeing all the birds coming into the garden. So let's see if I can dig this hole. Depending on how deep I can get it, it's going to depend what we're going to put in it. It might just be that I put a post in and then I can just attach branches to it, because I can't dig it deep enough to put the big branch in. I reckon that's deep enough. Let's see if we can put this branch in on my own. Didn't dig the hole very straight down. It's sort of at an angle. But I want this. It's upright. Okay, so this is the bird bath I got. One of my sisters got this for my birthday, which is very cool. So what we're going to do is we're going to put this together and then attempt to find a spot for this in the garden as well. So what I'm going to do is actually take the top off and fill this with some stones, because we've got stones. I can see how this would be easier if you were using sand. Okay, so I've just got some stones from the garden that I'm thinking would be quite nice in here as a way or something for the birds to sit on. I'm not too sure how I'm going to get the moss that I want. Go away, spider. This is also going to help. Oh, overloaded. Maybe I should put that. Maybe I should have washed the stones before I put them in. That one's too pointy. I need to get another flat one. Alright, got another one. I think that should look quite good. The next thing is going to be, I'd like to put like some moss around here. That one might be a work in progress. I think we'll leave it like this just so that birds can get used to it and know that it's here first, and make sure it doesn't fall over as well, and then just figure out how to get basically just like dress around the edge of this so it looks nice in the photos, because it looks quite nice against this background actually. So fingers crossed this works out. If not, I can move it and I can change it. It's not a problem. So I'm back putting the final touches onto the garden build out, and I've made a bit of a mistake. So earlier on in this video, you would have seen I put in the 2 extra woodpecker posts / perches on my own. And what I did, basically this one I think is too close, so I've put my squirrel guard on here which stopped the squirrel from climbing up the pole. However, I have still seen it on it, and it's jumping from either one of these 2 I think and getting on, and it's still getting the bird feed, which is not ideal. So what I'm going to do, because obviously I dug holes for these, I'm going to move the post. So we're going to do that, and then I've also, let me get these, been out to the woods again and got some extra bits of trees. These are a bit finer, so these are what I'm hopefully going to attach to bits to actually get the birds to use as perches. Just put those down before I break them. So yeah, hopefully they're going to be my perches, but I think first we're going to have to move the pole. And I'm going to check that it's in the right place this time. Look at me doing all the learning. It is going to mean though, with it being over here, I'm not going to be able to see it as easily from the window upstairs, which is going to be a shame. However, I think with the sycamore behind it, that's got a few nice little branches out on it still. These ones are now clear. Hopefully they're not going to be too upset by me moving it. Okay, right, I'm going to hit that in. I can always move it again. Hopefully the squirrel can't get to it now. Sure, I'll still see it on there no matter what I do. So with Tim's ingenuity, we have got a system in place. So obviously we've got this pole which I can take out once I'm done with it, because of the squirrel will be able to get onto it. To be fair, I don't know if it will hold the squirrel's weight, but I don't really want to find out. And Then we've got these little posts as well. So what I'm going to do is actually strap another one on so I can have one that's sort of an upright and sticks out the top. So we'll go for that and see if anything comes back in before it gets too dark. Oh yes. Okay, so they did use the perch, however I was too slow. Okay, so as proof of concept goes, they are definitely hopping onto it. So I think what I'm going to do is leave them to get used to that over the next couple of days. And then, because tomorrow's going to be a bit wet. And so that's pretty much got you up to speed with what changes have been made. So there are still quite a few things that I'd like to do in the garden this year. So keep tuned to the channel for those updates. But what we're going to do now is I'm going to go and sit in my hide chair and wait to see what turns up in the garden and hopefully get some nice photos. Okay, so we are all set up here in the little pop hide. So I did try and put, I've got like a little camo jacket, one of those 3D ones. I did try and put that up around the entrance just to try and sort of cover me up a little bit more. But then I couldn't actually see anything out of it. So that didn't go well. I've just got it on a little bit now just to go on the camera and stuff. So hopefully things will start to pick up now I'm settled and I'm not moving around. Now, I wouldn't necessarily use this if it was just for like the sparrows and the tits and stuff like that, but the woodpeckers that have been coming in, I've only ever got very glancing views of them, because the minute they just glance you, then they're gone. So I'm hoping that with this up, we might be able to get some woodpeckers coming. So we'll see. Fingers crossed on that. So yeah, I mean, it's quite quiet this morning. It has been the last few mornings actually. However, it was really cold last night. We've had a frost. So I'm hoping things will get nice and busy. Now, it is pretty early. It's just gone past 7 now after lots of faffing around. I've had a few things come in so far. Nothing particularly much. But the reason I've got out so early, well, it's because one, the birds are obviously up nice and early. But, and you can't see it yet, but the tide line of the sun coming up is going to play a bit of a role in today. So we're going to go for as long as we can this morning before the sun sort of hits the field behind us, because it doesn't hit the garden until later in the day. And yeah, then hopefully it will come back out a bit later. So yeah, I mean, I'm still hoping that stuff's going to land on my sticks. I've been faffing around with everything, trying to get it to work, and I think the setup should work. It's just if the birds decide to land on my sticks or not, really, or in my little bird bath. Probably not. I don't think they'll probably need a bath today. Right, so settings wise today, I'm on auto ISO, and at the moment, because it is still really quite dark, I'm on 1/320th of a second just to keep that ISO down. But as things brighten up, we'll be able to raise that. But I'm on the tripod, so as long as the bird is not moving, then that speed is going to be absolutely fine for taking some photos. That was amazing. The woodpecker has literally just come in. It wasn't here for too long, but I think I've got some good photos of it. It's the first time it's proper been in, and been in for a while whilst I've been out. So that's my first proper photo opportunity with it. So very happy with that. I'm hoping, like I said, it will come back. We've got a little while before the sun causes havoc. But yeah, it's so good to see that some of the work that I've done in the garden is actually bringing in different species, because yeah, we'd never had a woodpecker in the garden before, so very excited for what this garden setup is, or the potential of it, and what I could see and what it could bring in. So yeah, dead chuffed already. So the sun is starting to get out on that field. At the moment it's not too much a problem. It's causing like a nice backlight. It's not too strong, so we're just going to see what happens. I'm going to sit out, I think, till after 8 anyway, just to see what turns up. I'm pretty happy with what we got so far. It was a bit quieter than what I thought it was going to be. I thought it would be quite busy in the garden this morning, and I'm not sure if that's just because it's later in the year, so it's March. It's not like been as cold as what it has been in the past, and maybe they're not looking as much for food because the new shoots and stuff are coming up, or if it's something else. So I'm not sure. So I'm struggling quite a bit to get my focus on the birds when I'm sort of moving the camera. It's focusing a lot on the background, so I'm going to try using a medium spot focus, and hopefully that will help. I was hoping that I could get this lens to do like a manual override, but I can do it in video, but it won't do it in photo mode, which is really annoying. Even when I put it in DMF, in photo mode it didn't do anything, which is very frustrating. But the long-tailed tits did come back in again, just straight onto that feeder, which is quite annoying. And when they weren't on the feeder, me and the camera were not fast enough to get them on some of the perches, which is a shame. But hopefully they'll come back in. There was a few more of them that time. I think there were 3 or 4, so I'm hopeful that they'll come back and we'll actually get some photos of them. Right, well, I think for this morning's first thing session, I think we're going to call it there. The light is just getting a bit too intense on the field behind, so everything is in quite deep shadow in comparison in the garden. So it's about 8:30 now, so I've been out for about an hour and a half, just over. So I think that was quite a good session. I'd like to have got the long-tailed tits a bit, well, a nice photo of them. I just got a little bit of video of them on the feeder, but they do come in pretty often. So I think what we'll do is we'll go in now, warm up, have something to eat, and then when the garden is a bit brighter, I think this afternoon we'll come out, and then again this evening, once the sun has come off of the field a bit, we'll be able to come out again. But yeah, so far, so good, I think. Let's see if I can get out of this. There we go, just about. So welcome back to the hide. It's a little later on in the day now. It's about just gone past 3, I think. So we're back out in the hide, hoping to get some more photos of the birds this afternoon. It's clouded over quite a bit, so it's actually nice even light for me now, which is quite nice. So yeah, just going to sit out and hope that we get some nice birds come in, get some nice photos. I did do some slight changes with the 2 branches. I've actually just zip tied them straight to the feeder and then straight onto the pole. So they're a bit more stable and they're in a bit of a better position than they were earlier. So hopefully that will work. And with it being straight on the feeder, I'm hoping that the birds will actually land straight on it. Another thing that I learnt this morning, I've actually brought my tripod up higher so I can actually look through the viewfinder, and so hopefully I'll be a bit more, well, a bit quicker on the old acquisition once the birds do come in. And I've pegged my 3D camo coat differently this time. I was going to put my cap on, but if I've got either you or the 360 camera on the top, then I can't use my cap because I just go bonk straight into it. But hopefully we'll get some nice encounters this afternoon. So I've got some really nice shots so far. I'm really happy with them. Unfortunately now, it's ironic to say unfortunately the sun's come out, but alas, the sun's come out and it's lighting up the field behind the perches and the garden. So I've still got a few shots I think I can get for the time being. They're not really landing on my 2 sticks that I put out. They're very much still just going straight from the tree to the feeder. So if you've got any suggestions on what I can do about making them land where I want to a bit more, that would be quite helpful. But yeah, for the time being, I'm quite happy out here. It's really nice to see all the birds, to be honest. We've not had any of the long tails come in yet, but they do come in pretty much all day. So hopefully they'll be back and we'll get some nice pictures of them. 2 long-tailed tits in the hawthorn. They're quite well into it, but I'm hoping, if I'm patient, that they'll come out and come onto the feeders. But more ideally onto a branch where I can take their photo, because I'd really like a really nice photo of one of those. That's the goal. It's been brilliant sitting out in my little chair tent, watching and photographing the birds. The long-tailed tits are for sure my favourite, but also the highlight of having that greater spotted woodpecker come in was just brilliant as well. So I'm really pleased with what I've done. This isn't the end of the garden build. I've still got loads of ideas that I want to implement and sort of get a better stick set up for the perches as well, and try and encourage the birds onto those. But yes, that is going to be it for this video, and I shall see you in the next one.